We are the best police department in the country, and we're very proud of it.
If I can contribute, then I should. I never really lose it. When I go home, I'm still recruit bonding.
You're gonna feel different when you put that uniform on. We're all learning together. We're all starting from square one.
You're going through something over 26 weeks that is intense, that is challenging, that is life-altering. And the people that you share that with are the most important part of the experience.
It's week 8 at the Charlotte Police Training Academy, and the recruits have some major milestones ahead. They're almost a third of the way done with their journey to earn their badges. Like any career, though, some recruits have different paths than others.
My friend, he got hired with the Charlotte Fire Department. So he said, hey man, why don't you give it a go, see if you can, get on. You might like it. At the same time, I had already kind of had a job with CMPD doing dispatch and 911 lined up. Some people look at going into telecommunications or dispatching for police as a stepping stone for this job. And it is a good one because it kind of gives you an idea of what you're going to deal with, gives you an idea of what kind of mentality you need to have. And also, again, the exposure to unfortunately, the bad things that happen. So if you can handle it, over the phone, and that's a whole different other thing. Being able to handle it over the phone, we hear stuff and then phone call ends and that's it. You don't know what happens next. Where out here, you kind of get to finish that story. So for some people, they need that closure. There have been a few before me that have done the same thing. They've been there maybe a little bit longer before they decided to become a recruit. But it's an exciting thing. It's a big step.
I had Patrol Officer Ernest Coleman. He was shot and killed while working a uniform off-duty security detail at a local convenience store at 1401 Oakland Avenue at 7:30 p.m. He was shot by a man that he ejected out that store earlier. He was survived by 3 kids and his wife. This one hit home because my uncle, he was an NYPD officer. He got killed and shot the same way. He was doing off duty. It was a deli for those of you who do know New York. Same situation. There was 2 drug dealers that was just standing on that block. That was their block. He told them that they had to go. He thought that everything was cool because they got silent. He got complacent and sat down. Started looking around. They came back later that night, gunned him down. Same thing happened with Officer Coleman. So what I'm here to tell everybody is, although it might be hard some days, and it might be easier the other days, never be complacent. Complacent will get you killed. It will get your family killed, or it'll get somebody that needs to go home to their family killed as well. Complacency should not be something that's in your heart if you're in a line of duty like this. Officer Coleman on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Officer Gainey has implemented that in the beginning of our PT sessions that we do talk about officers that have passed in line of duty to instill that fact and reinforce the fact that the next day is never promised, but also the job that we're doing, yes, very commendable, but it is dangerous.
When you have such a large recruit class, recruits come from literally everywhere, and that means other careers as well.
I didn't start applying until the beginning of this year, and I honestly thought that it was a long shot because I kind of thought that, being a 40-year-old mother of 3 with no prior law enforcement experience or anything like that, I was like, surely they're, not going to be interested in me. But I was like, this is something that interests me, that I feel like I could feel purposeful and passionate about again. And that was the big thing. I was like, I'm going to work for another 20 years. I need to feel purposeful about what I'm doing. I've been a physical therapist for 20 years. And I've always thought there were a lot of parallels between healthcare and law enforcement. Lots of high stress situations, lots of problem solving, thinking on your feet, and you interact and deal with people from every single walk of life.
PT is just one way that recruits are asked to come together and overcome a challenge while in the academy.
Big G, baby. And manifest music. Young and made it to the top. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. I ain't never gonna stop, homie. Yeah, Big G. Yeah. Young and made it to the top. Young and made it to the top.
Watch right here.
There's a couple of walks before you get to learn. Oh, my bro, that ain't growing. Haircut got to
How this feels, and I never would trade it. I don't care how they feel, cause them haters gon' hate it. Yeah, young and made it to the top. Young and made it to the top. I ain't never gon' stop. I ain't never gon'
The first 2 weeks running, no, I could. After we would do a running PT, my legs were like, yeah, I don't know why you want to climb these stairs, but to now, we get like our PT this morning was awesome. Just being able to actually continue on. I love that I've gotten to that point just in a short 8 weeks.
The mental portion of the academy challenges the recruits in a different way, but with the help of the instructors, they are able to make it through the physical as well as the academic.
My name is Detective Koukopoulos. As I said, I'll write it on the board and give you guys my phone number here in a minute. I'm currently assigned to the cybercrimes unit. I cut my teeth in Metro for a couple of years on third shift, then I was a detective there with auto theft, then I did violent crime in Metro, and then I moved to cybercrimes.
Criminal investigations is one of the primary functions of law enforcement. After saving lives, it's one of the things that we spend most of our time doing. Often we can't get to a crime in time to catch the perpetrator on scene, so we have to investigate and develop a case against them afterwards. This part of BLET really focuses on teaching the recruits how to approach a scene, manage that scene once they've determined that emergency aid has been rendered if it needs to, and then collect the evidence that they will present in court later against the suspect.
Today we are going to PowerPoint. We're going to do it very well and very efficiently, but the more PowerPoint we get today, the more pleasant the rest of the week is. This week is sort of front-loaded with mandated material that we got to get through. As we move through the week, it will get, in my opinion, more interesting, but it'll also definitely get more interactive. You guys will be presenting to each other, which will be a little bit of a challenge given the size of this class, but we'll figure it out. Tomorrow, we have a series of detectives coming in to talk to you guys about what they do from different units. Robbery, sexual assault, VCAT will come in. Special guest, the DMV license and theft. Who knew that DMV had sworn agents? Yeah. I worked with them a lot when I was doing auto theft, made some good relationships. They have some good information to share. Generally, people like their presentation. We will also cover crimes against children, internet crimes against children, and crime scene.
We first focus on how to approach and secure a crime scene so that we can preserve our evidence and help anyone that's there. We discuss interviewing, collecting information from victims, witnesses, and any suspects that are on scene. And then we spend a lot of time discussing evidence, how to collect it, how to identify it in the first place, and what we will do with that evidence afterwards. Part of securing and managing a scene is respecting and abiding with the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution, which protects citizens against unreasonable search and seizure by the government. Officers are members of the government, so we have to prepare ourselves and obtain search warrants, consent, or have another justifiable reason to enter somebody's private property and conduct the investigation that we need to.
Who can consent to the common areas? Anyone who has Access to the house, yeah. And what about specific bedrooms? Hands, yep.
Whoever actually lives in that room or resides in that room?
Yes. You will run into cases. We're doing PowerPoint here, so I get to present everything as if it's cut and dry. It's not. You will run into cases where you will say, I know this 14-year-old has a gun in that room. I'm almost certain. I sure heck have probable cause. But he says I can't go into his room, right? Mom is there. I feel good about mom giving me consent. But does mom ever go in the room? You have to ask questions. You have to justify how you can get in there. There are cases when mom can give you consent to the room, especially if that 14-year-old doesn't do his own laundry and has food delivered to his room and she takes it out for him and cleans the place. She's got access to that room. She is also utilizing it, right? But there are also 14-year-olds who will come out, make their own food, take it back in, do their own laundry, and want nothing to do with their parents. And you have to determine which one you're dealing with, right? So in general, when we're getting consent, we're asking, do they have a right to give that to me? And is it, of course, free and voluntary?
We do fall kind of in the middle of their BLET. I generally like to encourage the recruits that mine is one of the last sections that's heavily focused on classwork before they get their hands dirty a little bit and work on practical skills. So we do kind of act as a capstone of generating that opportunity to bring everything together that they've been learning for the last couple of weeks and applying it to their future job. It really is the foundation of why they're doing anything that they're doing. We talk a lot in my class about how you justify the actions that you're taking because they're so important and sometimes critical, and those students have to make split-second decisions that have very big ramifications. So we try and prepare them very much to know why they are doing what they're doing.
It's a huge change because I've been getting up at 4 and 4:30 in the morning for years and years and years to work out and take care of kids and go to my job. But my husband and I had a routine, and now none of that works. So it's like our life has completely changed. I handled everything with our children for the last 15 years, and now he handles everything in the morning on his own without me. The kids, have never gotten ready for school without me. So those were big changes for all of us. And then the day is longer. I went from a job where I had complete autonomy over my schedule. My husband didn't want me to be unhappy, and I just don't think that he understood how drastic of a change I needed. So even though I kept him in the loop throughout my interview process, he had a really hard time when I started the academy. It was like, oh, this is really real now. And he wasn't sure that he was supportive, and I think he's still kind of on a roller coaster. I think it's harder for men to support women in this position than it is for women to support men. And so I think it's very hard for him to accept that I could be in danger and he not be there to help or protect me. And I think it's very hard for him to accept that that's what I want to do. My daughters are very happy with my decision. I've seen some changes in them. My son does not understand at all. He's very perplexed by the whole thing, and I think he's reserving judgment.
Speaking of tough, the recruits of 196 have made it to a critical moment, the OC exposure.
All right, so once we get down there, what's going to happen is, preferably, hopefully me, I'll be right in front of you, just like this, and I'll spray you, but your eyes will be closed. All right, I'll let you close your eyes, then I'll spray you, then I'll tell you to open your eyes, and I'll tell you to blink a few times, and then you will immediately feel it right then. Once I say go, you're going to run about 20, 25 meters. There'll be somebody there with a pad. You're just going to push them a couple times, 2 or 3 times, and you move to the next station. You'll have somebody there with a pad. There'll be a baton there. You just strike the pad a few times. Then you'll run over. There'll be another officer there. He'll have a gun, a knife, or just hands.
Right by now, you will not be able to see. Like, you literally have to open your eye to see. But we want you to see what type of weapon they have, because you got to be able to react, right? If they have a gun, it might not be a good time to pepper spray. Make sense? And then once you get done with that, you'll run to the water station. You'll have a water hose, get all the water you want. Then we'll have a big fan, and you put your face in front of the fan. Now you can't stay on that fan all day. You're going to want to. You've got your partners coming in right behind you that want some of that fan. So share the love, get some fan, and then just walk the sidewalk. All right, once I feel that you're somewhat coherent, I'll let you go take a shower, get cleaned up. Now keep in mind, when you shower again tonight, you're probably going to feel it again. I know what I'm talking about? Yes, sir. Probably going to feel it again, but it won't be that bad. But it'll remind you. And then once everybody is showered and cleaned up, we'll get out of here, okay? Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I try to remind them that it gets tougher. And I asked them just last week, I was like, who thought this was going to be easy? And nobody raised their hand, which is good, because it's not easy, and it's tough, and it's going to get tougher. And I talked to them about, once we go to the range, there's going to be days where we're coming in at lunchtime, and we're getting off at 10 o'clock at night, 10:30 at night, and then they got to be back at 6 in the morning. And I don't think a lot of them are tracking that. So it gets more stressful, it gets more physically demanding. Your hours of sleep are going to get a little less, but we can do it. But you got to work as a team. You can't do it by yourself.
Is this enough room?
This enough, right?
Yep, that'll work. That's plenty. That's plenty. That's plenty.
Grab your NERC can and your safety glasses, head out in the field. All right, spread out just a little bit. Keep going.
The recruits use inert canisters first to drill use of OC before they are exposed.
And if you spray and you just stand there, you're going to get the attack as the officer and contaminated all in the same, which that sucks times 2. That's why when you contaminate, once you deploy your OC, move offline and be ready to transition, but give verbal commands of what you want the person to do. Get on the ground is ideal, right? Is there a factor that if you're on a traffic stop, are we allowed to deploy OC with someone behind the wheel in physical control of a car? No, sir. You need to remember that. You cannot. The last thing you want is someone to get contaminated, then hit the gas pedal, go 3 to 5 seconds down the road, and they can't see. The same goes on the side of the road. You don't want to expose someone and then have them take off running. Just like today, you'll have somebody spot you, so you don't take off running down to Shopton Road by yourself. All right?
Yes, sir. So how's this gonna work? Give me about another foot or two back. So if I'm standing here and Washington is my partner, he's gonna aggress on me, start walking toward me. You're the suspect, walk toward me. I'm gonna pull the canister out, spray him in his face. Once he gets sprayed in the face, he stops. Right? Washington, come back here. So you stop there, take a knee. Just take a knee. Right? Once you get sprayed, you take the knee. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Back
up. Back up. It's hard to aim. It's hard to aim. Stay down.
All right, enjoy your lunch.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, sir.
Get back. You gotta take a knee.
Get back.
Hey, look at me, man. I ain't scared. I just, feel me? I'm nervous. I never had nothing like that happen to me before.
And they got like the
I can't see. I start panicking.
Steadicam and everything.
I've got a lot of cameras out here. Trying to catch every angle.
It's gonna happen anyways. It's inevitable. No, I've been in the CS chamber twice. I've been in the gas chamber twice. It's yeah. No, the gas chamber's different. It's not really focused on your eyes. It's more focused on like your everything, respiration and your skin, and it sucks. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks.
So if you're the one getting sprayed, the one that's next, say for example, Recruit Barney, he's getting ready to get sprayed. Jennings is going to be his backup partner, so to speak. And what she's doing is just staying to the side of them, making sure they don't fall down or start walking towards Shopton Road. They're just there just to orientate them, make sure they're going the right direction. Partner or backup officer, once you get here, you need to go and get sprayed. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
Crew Barney, you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, over here. You get right here, Barney.
Woo! Good stuff. All right, Barney.
Close your eyes.
Who's this runner?
Open them up. Go.
Oh, she's got one up there.
Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back!
Hit it!
Let's go, Barney!
Hey, you guys keep down on top. Let them walk through it. Let them walk through it.
I was happy to go first, and I always will be, because I knew that everybody was watching, and I knew that everybody was nervous, and I knew that maybe one or two people in that crowd had even seen or been exposed to OC spray, and despite the things that I've done in my life, I had never seen or been around it before, so it was challenging. But the first thing I was thinking was, I don't care how bad this is, I don't care what happens to me, I want them to see that I'm a person that can do it, and if I can do it, they can all do it. And that really applies to all the difficult tests that we've done, whether it was OC or taser or the CS gas or even the state exam. I'll be the one to do it. I admit now that I underestimated it. It is tricky and it is painful. But after about 10 minutes or so, you start to recover. You get a little bit of help from your peers. You get a little bit of water and baby shampoo. And then probably within an hour and a half, maybe, depending on the person, we had felt pretty good after that.
Yeah, there you go. That's what you needed. Try it out.
The outcome there is that it teaches you can do it. You can make it through something very, very difficult, even painful, and you can continue through the fight. You can continue through the situation if that's what you're in, and you don't necessarily have to give up or quote unquote, even though you feel like you may die, you probably won't. You just have to kind of get up and keep going.
Link, go.
Let's go, Freeman! Go, Freeman!
Andrew.
Let's go, Freeman!
Get back! Go, Freeman!
Go, John. Link, go.
You gotta get in the fan.
Super, I can't check on you. You okay?
I'm good.
It's Nelson.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
It's the hair, it's him. You got it. You gotta lock it out then. You got it. To the side, down into the end. Come on, Barry. Back of the van. Barry,
Every time I close my eyes, it burns.
Yeah. You gotta.
What do I do?
You just gotta keep blinking it out. Keep blinking.
Let's go!
Some recruits had an easier time with it than others.
Okay, you good?
Drop your hands. Get on the ground.
Got an open hose. Right here. Some of my eyes is my face.
Yeah, I told you, your face to burn.
Cut that out, man.
Yeah, done.
They still got people, right? Keep your hands on your eyes, man.
Pepper spray was the worst for me. We had pepper spray, tase, and gas. The pepper spray was the worst. I mean, I don't even eat hot food, so to have the essence of pepper, you know, sprayed in your face, they tell you that your eyes will close involuntarily, and you don't quite realize what that means until you're trying to see something and your eyes just keep closing. So for me, that was the worst, the pepper spray. But it was also a moment where you kind of rely on your teammates, because there's someone that, you know, running with you to make sure you don't run out into the street. The anticipation was terrible because you see your classmates going through it, you know, and you've kind of gotten to know their personalities by that point, and to see how they react. So some people react, you're like, okay, well, you know, I'd probably do a little bit better. But when some of the tougher, I shouldn't say tough, but some of the tougher cadets, once they go through it and you see how they react, you know, then you get a little worried. So that was definitely a tough one. The weight is always tough though.
Good job, train him.
Don't touch it, don't rub it.
Get back! Get back! Get back!
Find my voice, find my voice, find my voice, find my voice. Now look up. What's next?
Come on, Williams! You got it, Williams!
Oh, this feels good.
I think because I was at the end of the line, that's why the instructor asked for me to help. And I was in charge of, you know, rinsing the eyes off. We had people that were doing, you know, the baby wash and the eyes, and then holding people and guiding people and all that good stuff. And I was rinsing the eyes, and I was guiding people over to the fan. So I think that was definitely a bonding moment with your teammates as well, because as I mentioned earlier, your eyes close involuntarily, you know, and they're tearing, and, you know, your body's trying to get the OC off of you. So they kind of depend on you, you know, in that moment, and they want to do one thing. They don't want the water on their eyes, or they don't want the baby shampoo, and you have to tell them, this is going to help you, you know, trust me. And for them to allow you, you know, to put the shampoo on them or to rinse their eyes a little bit more, that showed a lot of trust, I think, and it was a nice role to be in.
Soak your eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. You hold them open and get the water in. You physically hold them open.
Yeah,
physically hold them open. That's going to help.
That's going to help.
It's going to get all that crap out. Yes. More?
Breathe into your mouth.
I mean, the entire journey of the academy, almost everything you do here is bonding. I mean, you take the test, on your own, but you study for the test with everybody else. You talk about, you know, the test afterwards and your grades and, you know, how you think you did, where your average is, all that stuff afterwards.
To your left.
Here, more soap. Take those.
More guys. Y'all got shampoo over here?
No, you got shampoo. Open them. I'll hold the hose. Just open your eyes.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah.
All right, you got it. I'll be honest with you, it hurts. It hurts more than I thought it would, but it's tired. All right, so we're going to shower.
Skyers is the only one that's in fairly rough shape, but I think he's coming around, yeah.
Sure. Go shower.
It's not getting better. It will.
Oh, it's something good.
There we go. That wind help?
Run, Phil. Go shower.
Yes, sir. All right, you good, man? You got it. Does this ever end?
Yeah, about 45 minutes.
Everything they do here is to teach us something. So when I did sit down, and I do have a little bit of an advantage because I've already been here. I already have a little bit of exposure to the department and how we operate. I know that this is something I want to do. So how do I do it?
Join us for episode 5 as the recruits start to put some of the lessons of the classroom into practice.